What's up, guys? Coming at you today with a full slate of college basketball and NBA action here on Wednesday, March 4th. I'll give you my favorite picks on the side and over-under on each game. We're going to break down the biggest college basketball games of the night. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock. So as a thank you to me, take that 10th of a second and slam that like button. It doesn't take any time at all. It's absolutely free and it really helps me out, helps get these videos promoted out there on YouTube, and helps keep me motivated to grind out these videos here every single solitary day. Also, check below and see if you're subscribed to the channel. I know a lot of my viewers are not subscribed, and guys, we're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. We're trying to make that dream a reality this year. So get down there below, check and see if you're subscribed, and also share this video with a friend out there that's interested in sports betting. Let's see if we can pick up some more subscribers that way. I don't know what we're gonna do for a 100,000 subscriber celebration, but I can tell you for sure it's gonna be pretty big. Also, get down there in the comments. Let me know anything you want to say about today's picks, about yesterday's picks, about anything you're looking at across the sports world. I'm more than happy to get back to you. And if I don't have the answer, if you're asking me about NHL or UFC or something I know nothing about, I can reach out to the premium handicappers over there at stumpthespread.com and see what they think about it. That's a pretty cool resource to have there in the back pocket. Also, make sure you're checking that pinned comment throughout the day. That's where you'll find my favorite picks from every single video. That's where you'll find my massive lock of the day and my dog of the day. You'll also find a link there to get over to stumpthespread.com so you can check out all the premium picks over there, but also all the great free stuff that's posted over there every single day. Free picks under the free picks tab, and that fantastic resource, that free email newsletter. That is a must check out for every sports bettor. So definitely make sure you're doing that. In terms of a recap for our picks there on Tuesday, it's still very early on. We did cash our lock of the day there on Tennessee on the money line, so that was a nice win. The Volunteers jumped out to a big first half lead, took care of business down the stretch, finishing things off there with a 78-59 win that got both the money line and the against the spread bettors very comfortable wins. Plenty of games still cooking. Miami of Ohio needs to open up a little bit more of a lead there down the stretch. Seton Hall is looking very good late in their game. The Dallas-Charlotte under is very much on track. The Spurs -7.5. Hopefully you jumped in early on that one like I recommended, because they're in great shape to win that game comfortably against a very short-handed 76ers team, and that news had not broken yet. The Raptors +2.5. Toronto isn't looking quite as good as I was hoping. They're actually down by 10 at halftime, but we'll see if they can figure things out here down the stretch. Still an awful lot of basketball to play in that game. Now, guys, let's go ahead and get after it. We got a bunch of college basketball, we got a bunch of NBA to cover, covering the whole slate here for Wednesday. So let's go ahead and dive in. Make sure you've hit that thumbs up button, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and make sure you're getting over there to stumpthespread.com. You can click the link in the description, click the link in the pinned comment, check out all that great free stuff, and let's get after it. First up, we got the Creighton Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Butler Bulldogs. Creighton's had a bit of a down year this season. They're 8-11 in conference play, 14-16 overall. They're coming off a third straight loss. They got blown out at St. John's. They lost by 1 against DePaul and then lost by 3 against Providence. That crazy home court advantage we've seen from Creighton over the years seems to have evaporated. This will obviously not be a home game for them as they head to Butler, but they've got plenty of issues. They don't have a solid leading scorer. They're like 220th in the nation total offense. The rebounding is mediocre at best, closer to terrible than to good, and their defense is also not very strong. They've really had a tough time against even decent opponents this year. They're taking on a Butler team they did beat 89-85 earlier this season, so I guess they can be happy about that, but not like that was a walk in the park kind of win. That game could have gone either way. We'll see what they can do in this one at Butler. The Bulldogs, 15-14 on the season, 6-12 in conference play. They just had a 2-game winning streak snapped by a tough loss at Villanova. It was at least a pretty competitive game, so they can feel good about that. Beating Georgetown, beating Xavier, not exactly amazing wins, but they did keep things competitive their last time out against UConn, and they've done some positive stuff this season. I don't think this not franchise, but this program isn't in terrible shape. Finley Bizjack has had a good season. We like what we've seen from Michael Ajayi. He's been pretty good. This squad is around 100th in the nation total offense. Their rebounding numbers are solid. Their defense is not great, but it's also definitely not terrible. So we'll see what they can do here. This is the second time they've faced Creighton. The first time, the Bulldogs shot the ball kind of mediocre, pretty even stuff there at the free throw line. We did see Butler have a nice little advantage there on the glass. The turnover battle was pretty even as well. We definitely just did not see a great shooting night there from Butler. So maybe they can figure it out in this one. They're 2.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 155.5. Creighton is 4-6-1 against the spread on the road, 16-14 to the under. Butler is 8-8 against the spread at home, 15-13-1 to the over. No real lean on the total in this game, guys. I would maybe lean slightly towards over, just because the last time we saw these two teams play, it was a pretty high-scoring game, but better than that, give me Butler here, playing at home, -2.5. I think Creighton's pretty disappointed in the way this season's gone. I don't think things have went that much different than what the Butler program would have guessed would happen this year, so I think they're going to have their heads on a little bit more straight here for their regular season finale. Next on the docket, we got the Minnesota Golden Gophers going on the road to take on the Indiana Hoosiers. The Golden Gophers are 14-15 on the season. They're coming off a nice little win there over UCLA, a 78-73 bounce back after a tough 10-point loss there at Michigan. This team has honestly put together a pretty good effort down the stretch. Now, they haven't had a ton of success against the better teams out there in the Big Ten, and they're only 7-11 in conference play, but Cade Tyson has put together a very, very nice season. They haven't played the Hoosiers yet this year, so this is uncharted territory. The biggest concern here for the Golden Gophers, their rebounding is terrible. Obviously, losing Crocker Johnson there indefinitely has been a problem for this team, but just they play some okay defense, but when your rebounding is that bad, you've got a lot to improve on, and they might need to improve pretty quickly here as they take on the Indiana Hoosiers, who had 8-10 on the season and 17-12 in overall. They're not having a great time. They're coming off a fourth straight loss, losing at Illinois, at Purdue, losing to Northwestern, a game they definitely should have won, and then losing a 77-64 game against Michigan State. They played Minnesota and Ohio State to finish things off, so they've got a couple chances for some decent wins. Once again, guys, the Hoosiers' problem has been rebounding. They're around 400th in the nation total rebounding. They've got a legit leading scorer in Lamar Wilkerson, putting up 22 per game, shooting 47% from the field, but you got to be able to rebound it a little bit, and if you can't rebound it at all, that is a massive, massive weakness. Now, the Hoosiers, they are 7.5-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 138.5. Minnesota is 5-4-1 against the spread on the road, 17-12 to the under. Indiana is 8-9 against the spread at home, 16-13 to the under. I don't think this is a terrible spot at all to take under. I don't think we're going to see a crazy amount of offense in this game, but it's not a very high total. In terms of a side, I got to lean towards Minnesota getting those 7.5 points. Do I think they're going to win this game? No. Do I think they can make it a real basketball game there in Indiana? Yes. Do I have enough faith in this one to put it in the pinned comment? I don't know. It could be a bit of a close one. I do think the under is definitely worth a second look. Next on the docket, guys, we've got the Texas Longhorns going on the road to take on the number 20 Arkansas Razorbacks out there in the SEC. The Longhorns are 18-11 on the season. They've had some big wins mixed in there. They needed that win over Texas A&M their last time out there to snap a 2-game losing streak. They lost by 11 at Georgia, and Lynn lost by 13 at Florida, which I'm not going to talk a bunch of crap on you for losing to Florida. That's going to happen to a lot of teams this season, and probably a lot of teams in the NCAA tournament. They do have to go on the road in this one to take on Arkansas. It is the first time they've faced the Razorbacks this season. We'll see what Dalen Swain can do. He's been very good this season, 18 per game, 3 assists, shooting 55% from the field is very legit. This Longhorn squad is 27th in the nation total offense. They're in the top 80 in the nation total rebounding. The defensive numbers are definitely not off the charts good, but they've been okay. The problem is they have a real superstar to try to contain in this one. The Razorbacks are 21-8 on the season, 11-5 in SEC play. They're coming off a loss at Florida, and they got blown out 111-77 in that one. Not a competitive game at all. The Razorbacks did what they could, but you can only make so much happen. We didn't see Acuff really go particularly nuts in that game. Only had 17 points. That Florida team is legit, so we'll see what the Razorbacks can do here in a bounce back spot. I'm expecting big stuff from Acuff. This is one of the highest scoring teams in the nation. I think they get back on track there offensively. Defensively, they're not great, and that could be a concern against a very good offensive team there for the Longhorns. The numbers seem to indicate that the odds makers like Arkansas quite a bit. We see 6.5s up to 7.5s out there. We've got a total of 165.5. Texas 7-2 against the spread on the road this season, 17-11 to the over. Arkansas is 11-5 against the spread at home, 18-13 to the over themselves. You could take over 165.5 here. I'm not going to fight you on it, but that is a very large number. Although Arkansas tends to play some very, very high scoring games, I will also be taking the Razorbacks here at -6.5 to get the win and cover. I just think they're the better team. I think being back at home will help in this one. It's not too bad of a look-ahead spot. They do have Mizzou on deck, and Texas has Oklahoma on deck, so maybe a slight look-ahead spot for both teams, but I think we see Arkansas get the job done here down the stretch and come out on top by at least 7. Next up, we're headed out to the ACC. We've got the number 22 Miami Hurricanes going on the road to take on the SMU Mustangs. Miami has been a very interesting team this year. They've won 6 out of their last 7 games. Their only loss was at Virginia, and they lost that one by 3 in an extremely competitive game where they also covered and got us the win. So we'll definitely take that. They're coming off a 22-point win over Boston College. They won by 10 at Florida State. This team is putting in very good efforts on a night-to-night basis. Malik Reneau is a monster. Trey Donaldson is an elite-level point guard. Shelton Henderson has been a monster there as well. 14 points per game, 58% from the field. This squad is in the top 67 in the nation total rebounding. Their defense is elite. Their offense is in the top 55. Like, there's a lot to like here about the Hurricanes. They're 12-4 in ACC play, clearly a cut below Duke and a small cut below Virginia, but this team has been solid. SMU, on the other hand, at 19-10 on the season and 8-8 in ACC play, has not been great. They just lost both legs of their, both their games on their trip out there to California, losing at Cal and at Stanford. So that's not exactly a great look. They did have that home win over Louisville, but we all know how bad Louisville is on the road. In this specific matchup going up against Miami, it could be a little bit of a tough one. This is an elite level offensive team. Boopy Miller is a monster, 19 points per game, 7 assists, 47% from the field. That's all very nice, but defensively they're not very good. They're not quite as good as Miami is on the glass, so that's also a bit of a concern. And they're coming off that road trip. Maybe that doesn't help either. The odds makers have this as basically a flip. SMU is -1.5. We've got a total of 161.5. Miami's 7-2 against the spread playing away from home. They're 17-10-1 to the over. SMU is 7-10 against the spread at home. They are 18-10-1 to the over. These trends are just too big, pointing towards the over. I know it's a big number. We need both teams to score like 80 plus points. We have to fire on the over here. I just think the trends point to it too aggressively, and both these offenses can really get after it. Neither defense is dominant. Give me the over. In terms of a side, I also really like the Miami Hurricanes here. SMU is not a great against the spread team at home. The Hurricanes travel very well this season in general. Give me Miami and give me a good hard look at that over. Hey guys, before we jump in and break down the rest of this college basketball slate and the full NBA slate, we got to shout out the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, guys, our premium members are getting daily NBA, college basketball, UFC, and NHL picks. We're being on an insanely hot run, or they've been on an insanely hot run over there at StumpTheSpread.com on the NHL side. Things have been going great over a large sample size, even back significantly before the Olympics. Things are all pointed in the right direction. So definitely want to hop in over there and check out all the premium stuff. Tons and tons of premium college basketball and NBA picks coming out every single day, and that's just going to be ramping up here as we get closer and closer to March Madness. So it's a fantastic time to be in the mix over there as a premium member. And keep in mind, guys, those premium picks are often not going to match what you see from me here in the videos, because I'm not the premium handicapper over there for NHL or UFC or anything like that over at StumpTheSpread.com. They have a team of experts covering all the major sports, and every single one of those experts has over a decade's worth of experience covering a sport. They are taking a crazy number of just different data points into consideration when looking at every single solitary play, so you certainly don't want to be missing out on those if you're any sort of serious sports bettor. Also, you got to get over there to StumpTheSpread.com and check out all the great free resources there. Free picks every single day over there under the free picks tab. And they've been on a pretty good run, so you don't want to miss out on those. There's also great information every single solitary day straight to your inbox if you're on that free email newsletter list, guys. It's very easy to sign up. You just go to StumpTheSpread.com. You can click the link in the description. You can click the link in the pinned comment. You could also just type StumpTheSpread.com into your browser of choice and set up a free account. They're going to ask you for your name and your email address. That's it. You get one email straight to your inbox every single solitary day, just jam-packed with great sports betting information. Not only will there be regular free picks in there every single day, it could be against the spread, over, under, money line, something like that on anything from NHL to NBA to college basketball to baseball once baseball season is going. But in addition to that, there are massive write-ups on all the niche sports like golf, big write-ups every single week on the PGA events. Those have been absolute gold for us. Those have, honestly, that should be, maybe golf should end up being a premium sport by the end of the season, because it has just been so good there in the under the free picks tab. Also, guys, big write-ups on NASCAR every week. Big write-ups on all the UFC stuff every single time there's a UFC card. Like, just a plethora of great information out there on all the niche sports and stuff like NASCAR that you might not have ever even thought would be worth your while. So definitely get in on that free email newsletter. It's a fantastic resource, and like I said, it's really easy to sign up. Also, over at stumpthespread.com, you can pick up a Stump the Spread hoodie. We're selling them right now for $39.99. That is basically straight up at cost. We make nothing on those hoodies. That $39.99 includes free shipping. It could be to your house in as little as 3 days. That's happened a few times. That seems nuts to me. I think it's closer to 6 or 7 days, but regardless, that's not a very bad lead time. And like I said, we don't make anything on those. We're just trying to get them out to anybody who would like to enjoy having a Stump the Spread hoodie. So hit that up under the shop tab over at stumpthespread.com if you are interested in. Also, if you're a massive fan of what you're seeing from me here every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos. They get their name up on screen in every single video, but maybe most importantly, they get access to our members only giveaways. We give away a Stump the Spread hoodie here to one random YouTube channel member every single Monday and every single Thursday. As long as we can keep up, with the amount of YouTube channel members that we've been getting, we're going to keep doing 2 giveaways. Maybe we'll be doing even more the more YouTube channel members that we get. It's been really fun to do those giveaways. We put the name of every single YouTube channel member on a big wheel. We spin it live on the video on Monday and on Thursday, and whoever it lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie of their size mailed straight to their address of choice. So huge shout out to all the YouTube channel members out there. Really appreciate you guys. Huge shout out to everybody that watches these videos. Make sure you've hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're getting over to stumpthespread.com, checking out all that great free stuff, and consider a premium pick package if that's something you're interested in, guys. It's a great time of year to get in the mix on those. And now let's get back after it. Got a bunch more games to cover. And next up, we're looking at the Marquette Golden Eagles as they go on the road to take on the Providence Friars. Marquette comes into this game 10-19 on the season. A pretty brutal year for the Golden Eagles. They're coming off a 62-51 loss to DePaul. They finish off their season with a couple of tough ones. They go to Providence, and then they host number 4 UConn. So not exactly an easy time. This team, they're technically in last place in the Big East. Nigel James Jr. has been the leading scorer basically all year long. 16.5 points, 5 assists, 48% from the field. All those numbers look good, but not coming in a whole lot of wins. They're around 300th in the nation total rebounding. They allow more points on average than they score. That does not usually add up to anything even close to success. Now, the last time these two teams faced each other, Marquette did get a 1-point overtime win over the Friars. So well played there. They jumped out to a 10-point lead at halftime and managed to get the win in overtime. So they did make it happen, but it was definitely not necessarily a pretty one. They did get destroyed on the boards in that game. They're going to have to play a little bit better this time around against Providence. The Friars are 7-11 in conference play, 14-15 overall. They've won 3 in a row. They're taking down DePaul, Xavier, and Creighton. Now, that Creighton game was pretty close. That win at DePaul was pretty close, but those are 2 relatively decent teams. So we'll see what they can come up with in this one. This is an elite-level offensive team, 17th in the nation in total scoring. They're 55th in the nation total rebounding. Now, the defensive numbers aren't great, but we've loved what we've seen from Jalen Sellers so far this season. 18 points, nearly 50% from the field. That is very, very good work, and that's a big part of why the Friars are 4.5-point favorites at home in this game. We've got a total of 161.5. Marquette, 4-7 against the spread on the road, 15-14 to the under. Providence, 9-6 against the spread at home, 20-9 to the over this season. Now, you could take over 161.5 in this game. I'm not gonna, say anything bad if that's something you're interested in, but much better than that, guys. Just give me the Friars here, -4.5. It's a revenge spot for them. They're playing really, really well right now. I think they probably don't feel like they're out of the mix to potentially sneak into the NCAA tournament, which they're gonna have to make some noise in the conference tournament for sure, but definitely give me Providence here, playing at home. Next on the docket, heading out to the Big Ten, we got the Ohio State Buckeyes going on the road to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now, Ohio State, they're 18-11 on the season. They're fresh off of a win over Purdue, so obviously a pretty massive win there, kind of solidifying a lot of their tournament resume. It was an 82-74 win, and they really took care of business, but they got to finish things off strong here. They face Penn State and Indiana to end their their season. The last time they faced Penn State, they got an 84-78 win, so I'm sure they feel good about that. Bruce Thornton's been a monster all year, 20 points, 4 assists, 55% from the field. That is solid work, but we do worry about the Buckeyes on the glass a little bit. They're not a great rebounding team. They're not necessarily a super elite offensive team either, 110th in the nation total scoring, but they play some defense, and they got the job done in this matchup already once this season. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road. Penn State, it's been a bad year. The Nittany Lions are 3-15 in conference play. They're 12-17 overall. They are coming off a rare win. They got the 71-69 win there over Iowa, so they will take that, but those are not wins that we see rolling in very often. They're 517th in the nation total rebounding. Their defensive numbers are atrocious. They don't have a very good go-to leading scorer. They kept their last one close against Ohio State, and that was with the Buckeyes at home, but Penn State shot 40% from three. They also shot 50% from the field and very good numbers from the free throw line, and they had a 10 rebound average, which is not necessarily something I think they can replicate. They did turn the ball over 18 times in that game, which is a little bit more in line with what I'm used to seeing from the Nittany Lions. Now, looking at the numbers, Penn State's getting 7.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 153.5. Ohio State is 5-5 against the spread on the road, 16-13 to the under. Penn State is 7-9 against the spread at home, 17-12 to the over. I know Ohio State's in a bit of a letdown spot after a big win, but Penn State is in an even bigger letdown spot after that win over Iowa. They know their season is over, guys, and the Buckeyes have lots still to play for. Give me Ohio State here playing on the road. I think they find a way to win this one very, very comfortably, and it's not like Penn State has been great against the spread at home this season. Next up, guys, we got an A10 showdown between the Loyola Chicago Ramblers, who are going the number 25 St. Louis Billikens. Now, Loyola Chicago has been one of the worst teams. I mean, definitely the worst team in the A10 and just a really bad team overall. They're 7-22 on the season. They are coming off a win, though. A 69-66 win there over Richmond. We'll see if they can keep things even semi-competitive against St. Louis. The last time these two teams faced each other, we did see the Ramblers lose that game 86-59, but I do believe that was enough for them to cover. They were given a very generous amount of points in that game, not quite as many this time around. So we'll see what happens. St. Louis 26-3 on the season, 14-2 in A10 play. So they've been putting in the work pretty aggressively. They do have 2 games left, so don't have anything locked up yet. They play Loyola Chicago. Then they play George Mason. So we'll see what they can do. Obviously, this team has been elite, 9th in the nation total scoring, 18th in total rebounding. They're only giving up 68.5 points per game. Very, very elite stuff there from the Billikens. I don't have anything bad to say about the St. Louis team, except that their strength of schedule was pretty suspect. But we'll see what they can do this time around against Loyola Chicago. The last time we saw the Billikens shoot 44% from 3. They dominated the boards. They shot 10 less free throws, so we'll see if that changes here. But something that hasn't changed is the Billikens being massive favorites. They're 24.5 point favorites at home in this game. We've got a total of 255.5. The Loyola Chicago is 3-7 against the spread on the road, 15-14 to the under. St. Louis is 13-4 against the spread at home, 15-13 to the over. This is tough because that is a crazy, crazy amount of points. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Loyola Chicago with the idea that the Billikens might be in a bit of a look-ahead spot here. Loyola Chicago does not have to keep it very close, just semi-tiny bit attached. We'll see what happens. Like I said, slight lean here towards Loyola Chicago, but we're not getting too involved in this game. In our last college basketball game, before we hop over and look at the full NBA slate, we got the Maryland Terrapins heading to Wisconsin to take on the Badgers. Maryland's another one of those teams out in the Big Ten that hasn't had a particularly good time. They're 4-14 in conference play, 11-18 overall. They're coming off a 69-65 loss against Rutgers. Not exactly a great look. That's a team you should have a chance against, but they lost to Rutgers twice this season, so that was a little bit brutal. The entire offense just feels very, very stagnant. Not a huge amount of very legitimate ball movement going on out there. They haven't kept a lot of games that close. There's been some. They've got some wins, mixed in there as well, but it's been rough. They're not a very good team on the boards either, so we'll see what they can do at Wisconsin. The Badgers at 12-6 in Big Ten play and a very reasonable 20-9 overall have had an okay year. Nick Boyd's put up great numbers. 20 points and 4 assists per game is very legit. Nolan Winter, 14 points per game and 57% from the field. The Badgers are in the top 50 in the nation total offense. They're a reasonable but not great rebounding team, and their defense is okay. They're coming off a big 90-73 road win there at Washington. They finish off their season with hosting Maryland and then going to Purdue. So definitely a major look-ahead spot here for the Badgers. We'll see what they can do. They are at least at home for this one, so that should help somewhat. I don't believe they've played Maryland yet this year. They are 14.5 point favorites. We've got a total of 153.5. Maryland is 6-5 against the spread on the road, 16-13 to the over. Wisconsin is 9-7 against the spread at home, 18-11 to the over. Once again, guys, I think we have to look a little bit towards the underdog. It's such a massive lookout spot here for the Badgers. I think Maryland could sneak around and make this a single-digit game. Does Wisconsin win this one? I think they absolutely do, but do they win it by 15 or more? That feels like a pretty big ask to me, so I will take a nice little look there at the Maryland Terrapins as a significant underdog on the road. Now, guys, hopping over to look at the full NBA slate here for Wednesday. We've got a barn burner of a game here right out of the gates, albeit against two teams that will be playing on no rest here. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder going on the road to take on the New York Knicks. Now, the Thunder, I misspoke actually. The Thunder are playing on back-to-back nights, and so are the Knicks. I did not misspeak, guys. Why would I doubt myself? Now, the Thunder, they come into this game, right now, actually, they are facing the Chicago Bulls, and this game has been pretty competitive so far. It's still very, very close. It's halftime, and the Thunder are only up by one. SGA, though, sitting this game out for rest to manage that abdominal strain. He is fully expected to be back for this trip to Madison Square Garden. So we'll see what happens there. It's not a brutal travel spot for the Thunder. They're playing in Chicago, and they're going to play in New York. So a pretty standard flight there. Nothing too, too intense. The injury report for them looks pretty much what we've, come to expect. Now, SGA is expected to be back for this game. No problem there. Jalen Williams is on the injury report at J-Dub. He's going to be reevaluated here in about another 2 or 3 days, dealing with that hamstring issue. So he will not be playing in this one. Isaiah Hartenstein is missing this game against the Bulls. Dealing with that calf issue. Sounds like there is, some sort of chance that he could be, back for this game against the Knicks. Definitely not impossible. It seems like it was, more of an injury management situation there for Hartenstein. So, albeit they might be a little bit fatigued, they should be close to full strength. Obviously missing J-Dub is not great, but other than that, they are rested and ready to go as they head to New York to take on the Knicks, who are currently up by 8 there, relatively late, halfway through the third quarter in Toronto. So a little bit tougher of a travel spot there for the Knicks. They do have to go through customs and all that kind of stuff to get back into America, to head back to their home court there at Madison Square Garden. So we'll see what they can put together in this one. Obviously, they had that crazy win over the Spurs, so it put them in a little bit of a letdown spot. But so far, against the Raptors, things have generally gone their way. OG Anunoby's having a transcendent shooting night. Cat's having a big night as well. We'll see how heavy of minutes they play everyone here on the first half of a back-to-back, though. So we'll see. The Knicks shooting the lights out so far in that game. So maybe a bit of a regression shooting spot there for New York. They are getting 4 points at home in this one. We've got a total of 223.5. The Thunder, 16-14 against the spread on the road. They're a 500 against spread team after a win. They are 18-12 to the over on the road. The Knicks, they are 20-11 against the spread at home. They are 5-5 this season against the spread on no rest. So that's worth noting. They haven't been all that bothered when playing on no rest this season. They are 16-15 to the under at home. And we do see the Oklahoma City Thunder only 2-8 against the spread on no rest this year, but SGA will be rested for this game, and that's a big part of the reason we're looking at taking the Oklahoma City Thunder here at -4. I think they've got all the guys they need to, mess up stuff for Jalen Brunson. I don't think we're going to see Cat have an amazing night here playing on back-to-back nights. It looks like the Knicks have a good shot of being in a regression spot in terms of long-range shooting. I mean, they're shooting 50% halfway through the third quarter. I don't expect them to do that on back-to-back nights. So give me the Oklahoma City Thunder here at -4, especially if we see SGA and Hartenstein back out there on the floor. Next on the docket, guys, this might be the game that I'm the most intrigued by. I don't know if I'm going to be the most involved in it, but we'll see. We got the Charlotte Hornets going on the road to take on the Boston Celtics. Now, the Hornets, they're a young upstart team that's really looked good here down the stretch. They're about to finish off a pretty severe beat down there of the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, they're up 104-87 with 5 minutes left in the fourth. So things are looking good there for the Hornets. Our underplay is looking very, very good in that one. So hopefully we will be cashing that thing. The Mavs are having a really bad shooting night. The Hornets are shooting the ball definitely pretty well. I mean, they're doing a good job on the boards, and they're shooting 40% from three. You can't really ask for too much more than that. And they're sharing the ball, guys. A lot of scoring spread out all over everyone. So very good stuff there from the Hornets. We do, not really have any reason to expect them not to be fully healthy. There's a chance, though, that Kobe White will be back for this one. He sat that game out against the Mavs, reportedly due to left calf injury management. So it's basically just a rest game. He should be back, so we do expect the Hornets to be at full strength as they go on the road for a big road test, taking on the Boston Celtics, who at 41-20 on the season have a case that they are one of the most dangerous teams out there in the Eastern Conference, especially with the Pistons looking like they might once again lose to the, definitely the banged up Cleveland Cavaliers, who don't even have Donovan Mitchell available for this game. So we'll see. The Celtics are coming off a 108-81 beat down there of the Bucks. They destroyed the 76ers before that, destroyed the Nets before that. You kind of see how this thing has been going, guys. The Celtics, pretty freaking good. Derek White's played well. Baylor Shireman's played well. Jaylen Brown has really, really led this team. And also, there is the potential for a Jason Tatum comeback. We don't know when or if that's going to happen for sure, but it does seem likely that at some point they're going to get him out there with everybody else. So we will see what happens in this game. The Celtics are 6.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 216.5. The Hornets, they're 21-11 against the spread on the road. They are 10-2 this season against the spread on no rest. That's pretty freaking impressive. They are 17-15 to the under on the road. Boston, 15-14 against the spread at home, 23-17 against the spread after a win, 18-11 to the under at home. So once again, in a Hornets game, we have to consider the under, but under 216.5, that seems a little bit sketchy to me. In this game, like I said, very, very intriguing stuff. I'm going to lean just slightly here towards the Boston Celtics. I don't think the Hornets are in that. They're good. They're good. Don't get me wrong. They're a very exciting young team, but are they ready to hang with the Boston Celtics? On the road, playing on no rest. It feels like a sin fading the Hornets here, though, since they're 10-2 against the spread on no rest this season. So we're probably not going to make this one into the pinned comment, but I will give you a lean there towards the Boston Celtics. Next up, guys, we got the Utah Jazz going on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Jazz have obviously been all over the place. They just played an extremely competitive game there against the Nuggets, and they lose that game by 3 points, which is exactly what the Jazz want right now as this team continues to tank out their season. Coming into this game, we see an injury report here that looks suspiciously clean, honestly. Keontae George ready to go. Cody Williams ready to go. Ace Bailey and Kyle Filipowski all ready to get out there. We do see Lauri Markkanen, though, on the injury report. He's going to be reevaluated in a couple weeks there. That MRI, symptomatic hip impingement. So we'll see. Some of that has to be a little bit precautionary, but I do obviously, we're not going to see Lauri Markkanen here for a bit, but Keontae George out there, Ace Bailey out there, and, Isaiah Collier coming off the bench, putting up good numbers. This team has looked borderline dangerous. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Philadelphia 76ers, who are down 78-52 there against the San Antonio Spurs as they head into halftime. Now, it's looked a little bit bleak here so far. Obviously, the injury stuff about Kelly Oubre Jr. is not great, and Joel Embiid is constantly missing time, so we'll see if he comes back for this one. Oubre dealing with an illness. I think there's a chance he comes back for this one, even on back-to-back nights. And Joel Embiid going to be sidelined the next 3 games, so he will not be in there for this one, dealing with that oblique strain. So that is pretty bad news there for the 76ers. Now, the lines that we have for this one, the spread that we have for this one, is a very, very early one. This could change wildly. Right now, the 76ers are listed as 11.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 234.5. That's also, subject to a lot of change. The Jazz are 15-14 against the spread on the road, 22-20 against the spread after a loss, 15-14 to the under on the road. The 76ers are 14-17 against the spread on the road, 10-1. 10-1 this season, guys, against the spread on no rest, 17-14 to the over at home. Just given that insane 10-1 against the spread on no rest, we have to consider the 76ers in this game. There's the potential for them to be a little bit tired. There's the potential for them to, not be at full strength for this game. But I don't know. Have to at least consider it. I would like to back the Jazz. We have to see what this real number is, too, though. If it's really the 76ers minus 11.5, maybe we go with the home team. If it ends up being the Jazz plus 15.5, we will definitely be on the Utah Jazz. So this is a wait-and-see spot. We also might have to look at the over, but just keep a close eye on this game. Something important could be coming from it. Next on the docket, we got the Portland Trail Blazers heading to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. Portland, they're 29-33 on the season. They've lost 3 out of their last 4 games. All kinds of stuff going on in the Chauncey Billups case, so that maybe is something of a distraction, but I don't think that's what caused them to get blown out by 34 in Atlanta their last time out. Jeremy Grant, terrible game. Toumani Camara, terrible game. Donovan Clingan actually played pretty freaking well. 15-15 with 5 assists is not a bad night. Drew Holiday played well also. We liked what we saw off the bench from Scoot at times. And, Blake Wesley had a pretty good showing as well, but none of that really mattered as they end up eventually getting blown out in that game. So we'll see if they can get back on track. They've dealt with plenty of injuries. Denny Adjeva dealing with that back problem. Just apparently it's completely let him down. Is a big deal. He's questionable for this one, so we'll see what happens. Other than that, they're relatively healthy as they head to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies, who are playing in Minnesota right now. They're relatively early on. No, they're at halftime in that game, and Memphis is actually up 62-57. So we'll see what they can do. They've won 2 in a row before that Timberwolves game, so they might be a little bit tired. We'll see. Obviously, it's not a fully updated injury report. Santi Aldama still missing time. We'll see who's able to play here on back-to-back nights after whatever happens there against the Timberwolves. They are in Minnesota. They're going to have to play from Minnesota back to Memphis, so not exactly an enviable travel spot, but Gigi Jackson and Jalen Wells both having good games, so we'll see what happens. The tentative number for this one, once again, definitely subject to change, is Memphis plus 5.5. We've got a total of 234.5. Portland, not amazing or terrible against spread team on the road. They are 18-14 against spread after a loss and 18-13 to the under on the road. Memphis is 11-17 against the spread on the road, 3-5 against the spread on no rest. They are 15-13 to the over at home. I will be leaning towards the Portland Trailblazers here at minus 5.5 if this ends up being a real line. Once again, it does have to be something of a wait and see spot. This spread could change considerably, but we'll have to wait and see with a lean towards Portland. Rounding into the home stretch, we got the Atlanta Hawks heading to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. Now, Atlanta, they're 31-31 in the season. Shocking, I know, to see the Atlanta Hawks be a 500 team. They've won their last 4 in a row, but when you're beating the Nets, the Wizards twice, and the Portland Trailblazers, I'm not going to freak out that much. We liked a lot of what we saw against Portland. It does seem like, Kuminga has found himself a decent home there. He came off the bench, put up 20 points and 7 boards on very efficient shooting numbers. That's great. CJ McCollum played well. Okongwu led the team in scoring, and it feels like the Hawks are pointed in the right direction. We'll see if this can continue. They are fully healthy and ready to go coming into this game, so that definitely helps. The Milwaukee Bucks didn't look great in Giannis's return, losing 108-81 there against the Celtics. Giannis put up very, very reasonable numbers. He had 19 points. Let's see, what was his final score? Stat line. 19 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, and a block. He was also a minus 16, the worst out of any of the starters. So that does bear mentioning. Not a great night out there for really anyone, though. Kevin Porter Jr. struggled. AJ Green was terrible. Bobby Portis was okay coming off the bench. We didn't love what we saw from Jericho Sims in significant minutes there. And yeah, just not really a great night. Kyle Kuzma getting DNPs is not maybe that shocking. Now, the Bucks come into this game fully healthy and ready to go, so maybe they're going to be back after it there. They are getting a 1.5 at home. We've got a total of 230.5. Atlanta, 18-14 against spread on the road, 16-14 against spread after win, 18-14 to the over on the road. Milwaukee is 13-16 against the spread on the road, at home, 16-17 against spread after a loss, and 15-14 to the over at home. It doesn't ever feel good to back the Atlanta Hawks, but I'm backing the Atlanta Hawks in this one. I think they find a way to get the win here. Despite the fact they're playing on the road, I do feel like they are significantly the better team, even with Giannis playing. So definitely give me Atlanta here on the road. Last but not least, we're looking at the Indiana Pacers heading to LA to take on the Clippers. The Pacers, they're 15-46 on the season. They've lost their last 6 games in a row, getting blown out by the Grizzlies here recently, and that was a home game. Usually the Pacers try a little bit harder at home. That was not the case in this one. Things have gotten very, very brutal. I can't wait to see what Indiana looks like next year, but this year has been rough. They did shoot nearly 40% from 3, but got crushed on the boards. 21 from Jarris Walker. Their starting lineup was Obi Toppin, Jarris Walker, Jay Huff, Ben Shepherd, and Cam Jones. Yikes. I don't have anything to say besides yikes to that. Not looking too good. We'll see what they can do in this one. Still pretty banged up. Nesmith out, Siakam out, Nembhard listed as, I think, day-to-day or officially questionable for this one. So yeah, I'm not holding my breath for any of them to be playing here as they head to LA to take on the Clippers, who have won back-to-back games. They got a nice little win there over the Pelicans by 20, and then a big come-from-behind win there at the Warriors to eventually win that one 114-101. Kawhi ended up putting up 23 points there in the win. Pretty good shooting numbers there later in the game, not so much earlier or overall, as they went 29% from 3. They dominated the Warriors on the boards. They did a good job keeping them off the foul line, and overall, just a pretty good day out there at the office for the LA Clippers. We'll see what they look like here moving forward. Obviously, having Darius Garland back out there and available should be a positive. He put up 12 points on relatively efficient shooting numbers, although only 2 of 7 from 3 isn't great. We'll see. That was 23 minutes. We'll see how many minutes they let him go here against the Pacers. Other than that, everybody should be ready to go. This is another one of those lines that could move significantly. The Clippers are 12.5-point favorites here. We've got a total of 222.5. The Pacers are 11-18 against the spread on the road, 18-27 against spread after a loss, 18-11 to the under on the road. The Clippers are a 500 against spread team at home, 17-11 against spread after a win, and they're a 500 over-under team at home. We got to wait and see what this spread really is, but I will be leaning towards the Clippers here at minus 12.5. Maybe even a little bit of interest in that under 222.5. We'll see what the real number is, but I do think this is a good spot to be on the Clippers, potentially, even if it's a relatively big number. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today on a very busy Wednesday. Do me a big favor, take that 10th of a second and hit that like button. Really helps get these videos promoted out there, does tons and tons to help out the channel. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and share these videos with a friend. Anything we can do to pump up those subscriber numbers, guys, is much, much appreciated. We're trying to make it to 100K this year. Let's see if we can make that dream a reality. Get there in the comments. Get down there in the comments. Let me know any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I appreciate everybody watching these videos. Make sure you're clicking the link that's in the description or in the pinned comment to get over there to stumpthespread.com. Check out all the great free stuff. Definitely get on that free email list and check the free picks tab. And check out all those premium picks. A ton of work goes into those every single day. And NHL, as you've been seeing, guys, has been running extremely hot. So definitely get in the mix on that. And we'll see you guys right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.